8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So, a very warm good afternoon to each and every one of you. Once again, this is Siddharth Stephen, your host on the Great Indian Discussion, the Grid. And we have reached to the point where we have reached to the semi-finals, wherein now we have the people whom you chose, and now they have entered to the semi-finals. So, today we have Arshdeep, Shivam and Priyanka, who is going to go right ahead and battle it out in the group discussion, and we'll actually eventually see who comes out as triumphant winner in the by the end of the group discussion. And once again, the best part is that we have Dr. Zia with us. He is the head of operations from Penzaras. He has conducted few of our previous group discussions, and so without wasting much time, I would straight away go right ahead. So, sir, over to you, sir. You can start with the group discussion.
So thank you very much, Siddharth, and I welcome all the three participants as semi-finalists, because that sounds more confident and and that sounds more good. And the topic for the day is: can economic development and environmental conservation go hand in hand? See, I'll comment on a very small note. First, I'll give a small opening part, and then we'll take our opening comments, 1 minute each, and then we can go for the discussion. See, I read it somewhere, and that was a very beautiful line that nature took millions of years to make this Earth, make this globe, our Mother Earth, our planet, but we took only 2 centuries to destroy it. Because after industrial revolution, there is a very big race of who leads that who becomes that economic power, and in that race, we have somewhere destroyed our Mother Earth. And now, like, we have a pandemic time right now. So, and it's all of the credit rating agencies and all the economic forums, and everyone is saying that in this coming 1 or 2 years, the world economic growth is somewhere going to be near about 2%, and in that everyone will be again moving towards increasing production, and that ultimately may lead to environmental damage. So the topic is the same, that can we go hand in hand. So let us begin with the opening remarks. I'll start with Arshdeep.
Okay, thank you, sir, for giving me this chance to begin. I would also like to start with a small quote that nature provides us everything for our needs, but not for our greeds. So, to talk about, if we talk about economic development, we will be, as you said, that we'll be making more products at a faster rate. So, we'll be needing high amounts of energy. And I would like to start my point that, okay, to talk about in the energy sector. In energy sector, around 90% of the electricity we have is produced by steam turbines, and those steam turbines run on coal and petroleum. So we are polluting it. We are polluting the environment, and so to just to for this for a economic growth, we are giving a large harm. We are causing a large harm to the environment. So before I begin on my points, I would like to also know the views of other participants.
Sure. Shall we? This was the opening remark from Arshdeep. Priyanka.
Thank you for acknowledging me, sir. So I would begin with a quote that I don't want to protect the environment. I want to create a world where the environment doesn't need protection. So, guys, today, be it climate change, be it mass extinction, be it water pollution, I don't even have to say that we are facing so many challenges. In fact, if we take a look at the like news, we get an impression that we're moving full speed towards destruction. And with people consuming more and more resources, it's normal for our lives to be like worried, and we always have this question in our mind that what will happen to our planet. But the studies have been showing that 50% of the world's population is either wealthy or is middle class. So I think that being said, I would like to know what other my fellow mates want to say about it.
Sure. Shivam.
Thank you, sir. Sir, in this context, I would like to say that It is the need of the hour. We need to build move in a sustainable way towards the development, and sustainable development is quite necessary thing at this moment of time. And I really believe that both of the things can go together. And moving forward, I will be telling the ways and how can both of the things move together. So, thank you.
I slightly differ
Sure.
from you, Shivam. Uh, that
Okay.
that though
Arshdeep.
that we, yes, we can have environmental conservation and economic growth hand to hand, but that would be a very ideal situation, which is not, I think, practically possible. Okay, so I would like to elaborate on my point, which I started. That Okay, let's talk about the energy sector. In energy sector,
Right.
around 90% of the electricity we have is produced in steam turbines, which run on petroleum and coal. So obviously, that is not something which is good for the environment. And if we think of some sustainable energy sources, we talk about solar energy. But people don't know that solar energy is not. It is very unpredictable. We cannot have sun all the time at all places, and moreover, the energy produced by sun is also not of very high. It does not produce very high current, so it needs to be stored in a battery. If we talk about wind energy, again, it is not very sustainable because it is very unpredictable. We talk about nuclear power. Nuclear power is, again, we have the problem of waste disposal, so it is also not very good for the environment. So to power our industries and our residential areas, I think at the current pace at which we are running, I think it is not possible for us to have economic growth as well as doing something good for the environment hand in hand.
In this
Yes,
context, I would,
Shivam.
yes, sir.
Yes, please come in. Please come in.
I
Arsh, and
Shivam. I'll come to
Arsh,
Priyanka. Just a moment. Just give Shivam to counter, then we'll come to Priyanka.
Harsh, I really agree with your point, but in this context, I will like to tell you about the country that is France, and France is right now the best country that is developing also and taking the environment hand to hand. And when you talk about the powers, we are living in a 21st century. We have reached up to Mars, and we are the people that can create a source for us. Just the thing is that we need to have a need for it. Once we understand that we need it, we will create it. We will find out a way how can we make the use of solar energy more better. We will find out a way how can we make the wind usage better. Just the thing is that till the time we will keep supporting these products like the thermal power projects or the nuclear power projects, we will not feel a need of the sustainable development or the other commodities which are available in the environment and are less hazardous to the environment.
Yes, very true.
Yes, that was a good point. Let Priyanka come in.
Maybe
I would agree with what Shivam has to say
should I?
Priyanka, you are not
that
audible. Priyanka, you are not audible.
situation that we
Yes.
would. Am I audible, sir?
Now you're audible. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Please continue.
So I want to say that I agree with what Shivam. I want to say that I agree with what Shivam has to say, because I really think environment conservation and the economic development can go hand. If we look at the studies, we see that in 1980s we were thriving with hunger and poverty, but now if we look at the trends since 2004 to 2013, we have seen that index matrix itself says that the problem as big as deforestation is declining, right? And right now we should be thankful that in humankind we are not suffering from poverty and hunger. We don't have famines right now, like if I talk about the world on the whole, right? So we think if there's
So I think Priyanka's connection is yes. Ashdeep, you can come in.
Yes, sir. So I agree to both of them that they have put forward very good points. But I think that these are very ideal situations which they are talking about, like France. If we talk, I'm talking about India in particular. Say, if we are a developing country, so we'll need to have more production to come forward to have economic growth. So more production will require more people working in the fields, more people working in the industries. So all this leads to, I would say, the destruction of the environment. If we talk about agriculture, people do not relate it with pollution or harm to the environment, because they think that we are growing plants. But stubble burning, and just to create some more money, they'll burn their crops so that they don't have to wait for it to get deteriorated through the natural processes. And they also use pesticides and insecticides just to increase their per hectare yield. So all this leads to the economic growth, but this is not very good on part of the environment. So I think the government should introduce something like in which the polluter has to pay. So I think these are the things which could help us to go hand in hand when we need to have an economic growth, as well as we have to save our environment.
See, I want to
Uh,
comment for for a very smaller section to all of you. What you're
Yes,
talking
sir.
is what Arshdeep is saying, and no, I understood that. But there's one thing you cannot, if you're considering climate as Earth, we are considering Earth as one. We are considering a climate as one, but the world is not one. On the one hand, we have the industrialized countries, those who have done their development, and this is an argument which is being given by the developing and the underdeveloped nation in the no, that peace that UNPCC, and that is panel for climate change, that they have done their part of development. But when it comes to developing countries, especially in the South Asia, the China and other countries, the issue is that we are on the verge of development. We have not achieved that. So and the what you're saying, that the that carbon emission and all that, greenhouse gases emission, carbon footprints, all these things are coming in. The issue is now the world is divided into the developing and the developed part. The developed part has done their damage, and now they're stopping the developing part. So this is the this is the major concern. So we'll try to put our track on this. Yes, Shivam.
Sir, your point was correct that developing countries have done their part of the damage to the environment. But the thing majorly that comes right now is that they have already done it. In this statement, also, we said that they have done it and it cannot be reversed. It's just that if they put a proper track on the things, the economies which are on the developing phase, like when we talk about China economy or the Indian economy, they are in the developing phase. So they should bring up some of the points and the factors that these countries, when they are developing, they don't do that same type of mistake which these western economies have already done. They should frame out some policies so that it becomes possible for the countries which are developing right now, that they can grow their economy in a sustainable way, and they can help to mend the damages that has been already made by the Western economies or the developed economies.
Yes, you.
Yes, that was a very good point. I want Priyanka to come in because she lost the connection.
I'm sorry, there was a connectivity issue.
Yeah, that's fine.
But continuing with what I said, that I want to take an example of the world's largest economies. If we talk about US, if we talk about the European Union, if we talk about Japan, if we talk about China, so it has been seen that in 1960 until now, the CO2 emission has reduced to 64% in the US. And when we talk about the European nation, the CO2 emission has declined by 65%. And same is the case with Japan. And when coming to China, where we have the largest production of everything is yet, that place also has seen a decline in the carbon dioxide emission, and the decline is by 75%. So my purpose to state this example is that if the countries have are growing economically, they have the power to make new resources, find out new resources, and use cleaner and better technologies, so that they can create environmental conservation and or bring sustainability.
Yes, Arshdeep.
Yes, I
Yes,
would
please.
totally agree to you, Priyanka. But even if we talk about the developed countries, every country would have some industries, and the backbone to those industries are metals, or I would say iron in common. So where do we get all these materials from? We have to mine them. So mining is a very, I would say, costly process on the part of environment. Environment, it is bad for the water. It causes water pollution. It causes air pollution. All sorts of pollutions. Then you are destroying the land which could have been used for some forestation purpose or some agricultural land. So mining So if we are not mining, we cannot progress further. So mining, I still think that in most parts we cannot go hand in hand when it comes to economic development and environmental conservation.
In this
Yes,
context, I would,
Shivam, yes, please. Because he's
yes,
saying what you are saying about economic development is giving a counter to that. Your marks.
yes. So in this context, I would like to say, Arsh, that we should not think that we need it or we don't need it. It's important, and we need to understand that if we are thinking of a development without a planet, it will be of no use. If we are making a planet, means we are degrading the planet day by day, and the life will come to an end. And what will be the use of benefit then? Of the development, there will be
Totally
no
agree.
benefit of that development if we don't have a life to live it, and we don't have a humans or the resources to continue our life. So the right now my point is that you are saying again and again that when we are mining, we are degrading. So we should find out the cross functional ways in which we can do the things that we don't harm our environment. We should move in a sustainable development form. And when we talk about the economies like France, they are coming on the front foot to handle this situation or the damages they have already done to the environment. So right now, it like economy like India should take the help of the countries which are developed, and they should means do all the good things that can help us to fix all the damages that has already been done, and we should try to
Yes.
bring down all the damages that we are going to move to further in the environment.
Yes. I like if Priyanka can is she's connected and she can come in.
Okay, so we'll wait.
Priyanka, if you can listen us, if your connection is good, please, it's your time to comment. Yes, I think Priyanka is will get her to her. Arshdeep.
Sir, I'm there.
She's there, sir.
I'm there.
Okay. Okay, please. Priyanka, please.
Yeah. So I want to say that given the trends, we can see that the damage done since the past, whatever mankind has done, it is being reversed now, and it is being increasingly clear that the relationship between the sustainability and the relationship between economic development is inverted now. So after we achieve a certain level of wealth and education, society begins to think about the environment. Like we have concern towards environment. Everywhere we see, we will get some way or the other that do something for your ecology, plant trees, and we will have plantation drives all through the schools and everything. So I think we have begun to worry more about the environment, and so we have begun to take measures, for taking care of it and to develop the use of cleaner technologies.
Fine. Arshdeep, yes.
Both of your points were very well framed, and I really appreciate them. But I think that the points are like we should do this and we should do that. But I think with the current technology we have, again, I would talk about the energy sector. We think that hydroelectricity is very clean, but hydroelectricity, when we are making dams, it is very bad for the ecosystems. It causes waterlogging. It causes water loss due to the evaporation standing in the reservoirs. It causes siltation, so the fertile soil doesn't reaches the lower reaches of the river. So all these things have led that the energy we are using is not clean in itself. So what if even if we have built a car which is very 100% efficient, still if the energy we are putting in it is not efficient, then it's obviously of no use. I would also talk about the automobile sector. So I mean, I'm putting some points on every industry, which are a huge, I would say, a major contributor to the economic development.
Yes,
Uh,
Arshdeep, I would like you have put your point well that you're talking about that every even energy itself, cleaner
yes,
energy itself has its own environmental cost. Shivam,
yes,
please.
Your point was absolutely correct, that the energy we are using that should be clean. But right now, the my point over here is that we should avoid using the energy which is much causing damage to the environment. Like when we talk about petrol, when we talk about coal, when we talk about the diesel, these types of energy are causing a great damage to the environment right now. So we should shift us towards energy that is causing less damage for the time being, and our technology and research should work towards finding the ways in which we move towards technology that causes 0% damage to the environment. And I really believe that scientists are working hard to do that. Now the cars are being framed into the electric vehicles, and these types of things, when we will think about these types of things, we will surely come to a solution where there will be 0% damage to the natural resources. And it's about that natural resources are depleting because we are using them in excess. If we will use them in a proper manner, they will not deplete. The mother earth mother has its own way of replenishing them. So
Yes,
it's just
yes.
upon us that we use this energy in a proper way. We should not exploit them
Okay.
up.
Exactly. So, well, we have reached the last, the section we have like, so I'll give like 1 minute or let's say 80, 90 seconds to all of you three. Come up with your closing remarks. I'll start with Priyanka. Closing comments.
Firstly, in context with yes, sir, in context with what both of them had to say, I would say that Ashpreet, not just what we have to do is we're telling what is happening now. For instance, if you talk about coal and other resources, we can have, and we actually are having recycling production, and the cost of production is decreased, and the level the technology of production is very new, which is clean, which is not producing so much of waste. We have geothermal energy, and like I am not saying that we have come to a part where there is only bad things happening, but human activity aims to seek better ways of production, right? So I think we can take a sigh of relief that for the first time in history of mankind, we have economical advancements where we can create better and feasible ways, and we are creating it. So on the contrary, I would just say, let's not be a part of the problem, let's be a part of the solution. And the part of the solution is this only, that if we'll have economical advancements, we'll like educate ourselves, we'll have newer technologies, newer resources, so that we can come up with cleaner technologies and cleaner sources, so that we can minimize what the waste is and maximize the benefits to us as well as to the mother nature.
Fine. That was very, briefly and precisely, commented. Arshdeep, your closing comments, please.
So to sum up my points, I would say that the energy we are using, the energy which we deem to be clean is actually not clean. Moreover, the agriculture if you want to have an economic development, we need to have more higher yields in the fields, and therefore we need to use the insecticides, pesticides, and all of them. Moreover, for talking about the developed countries, we have, see, if we don't even consider plastic and packaging industry, uh, but it is one of the most biggest contributors to the harm to the environment. We also cannot stop mining because we need metals, we need all sorts of resources for our industries to run, to perform better and to cause some economic development. So to sum up all this, I would say that with the current technology we have, it is not possible for us to go hand in hand with the environment as well as the economic development. And so we should bring in policies like polluter should pay, in which the person who's causing harm to the environment is to pay. And that's all.
Okay. Fine. Shivam, your turn.
Yeah, sure, sir. So in this context, in the end, I would like to say that environment and development firstly should be treated as one sector. Till the time we will take on giving environment versus development, it will not be possible to do a sustainable development. Government policies should be framed in such a way that environment and development should go hand in hand. And we are the people of 21st century and the brightest era. When we have any problem, we try to find a solution. We are dealing with such a big pandemic that if it would have occurred in the previous years, most of the economy would have devastated, and there would have been no way to come out of these problems. So we are living in that era where we can build something good, we can put efforts towards it. So we should, instead of being in that problem for coming years also, and making Mother Earth more damage, and creating a bad place for the generation coming, we should focus on the things that are good for our people, that are good for Mother Earth and for coming generation. That's also.
Fine, thank you so much. So you all have put in your points, and I'll come up with my my closing remarks as in this. Because, everything has a cost. Like when we shift from the non-conventional and when we shift on to the so-called green energy sources, it will definitely have a cost, and you cannot that cannot separate economic development and environment. No, we have to come up with something in between, and what we call as a sustainable development. And like we have the human capital, we have the natural capital, and when we are consuming that natural capital, we have to keep in mind the interest of the coming generations. So we should not damage it in that sense. And the cost that will, like people say that the battery cars are very costly, the moving on to solar energy, it is high maintenance. But if you will compare that, the cost benefit ratio, though the benefit may not be immediate, but the longer benefit, that is something which we have to look for. So I would say that yes, you all are you have all have very well put in your points. And yes, we have to find a midway for that. It was very well spoken, very well communicated from all of you. And I would like that Siddharth should come in, because they have completed in their section.
Right, sir. So, to be very honest, I would just like to, add one thing. I was actually having a feel that I'm having industrialists sitting everywhere, and they're having this debate. It was amazing. Trust me, I enjoyed it thoroughly with my heart. The points that you guys mentioned were precise, to the point, valuable, touching down on probably each and every aspect of the points. I was enjoying it. Trust me. This is what you call the great semi-final. So I'm just bursting out of the things that which are there. But anyways, without wasting.
Was I
So
sounding
without
too confused?
no, not at all. So they were like I said, they were precise to the point, and they were amazing guys. So hats off to you, and without taking much time, as Dr. Zia said. So thank you once again, Arshdeep, Shivam, Priyanka. You guys have been amazing throughout the journey on the grid, and I wish you all the very best for the way ahead. You definitely have some great insights, and I can see that you have some good, strong. Probably I can say leadership points in itself that I can see probably coming out as one of the group previous moderators also mentioned that in this specific platform, when they are now interacting with you guys, they are actually seeing entrepreneurs budding up. So it's great, it's amazing to see you guys come up with these things. And obviously, sir, Dr. Zia, it's truly an honor to have you once again on
Thank
the
you so
platform,
much.
sir. we we
Thank you so
enjoy
much.
your
This gives a yes, yes. I know this gives a platform. And what you said, that to see the future of India, and with their such a good point, such a precise and such a focused perception about at least environment, we can say that it was a really nice one, and it's really hard to this competition is really up to the standards of semi-final, as Siddharth said. So great, all of you. Siddharth.
Right, right, sir. So, I would now go basically back to the audience, so the people who are viewing it at this very moment. This is a shout out to all of you guys. So, your finalists are all set. They have, maintained that semi-finalist, feel for the platform. And the best part is now it's your time to vote for them. So, the people whom you voted, whom you supported earlier, प्लीज मेक श्योर आप उनके लिए दोबारा वोट करें. वी हैव अर्शदीप, शिवम, प्रियंका who were like finalized panelists, and obviously whomsoever you chose. So basically, basis on the votes and obviously basis on the moderators say, we would be coming up with the winners of the semi-final most probably within this week, maximum by Friday, and obviously we would be reaching to the finals on Saturday. But before that actually happens, I would like to have a vote appeal. So please, please, please do not miss on a chance to actually vote for your favorite participants, be it Arshdeep, be it Shivam, be it Priyanka. Vote for them, make them the winners. as you have loved watching them move up the ladder, make them move up the ladder, and at the same point in time, make them become, probably if they are the favorite participants, even for the college who are out there, if they are your college students, I would actually insist you guys to come up and to vote for them, because they are doing fantabulously amazing. Vote for them. If you love the GD, give it a big thumbs up. If you love the Safe Job channel as to what's happening right now, give it a big like. If you're enjoying the entire platform, come on Safe Job. We have some amazing things stored up for you. And once again, thank you so much, guys. It was amazing to have you once again on the semi-finals.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Safe Job is an AI-powered job preparedness platform. It is the latest edtech platform released by Safe Educate.
BFSI sector in India will need an additional 1.6 million skilled workforce by 2022.
The report says that people with the right skill set are very likely to get jobs as the service desk analyst and technicians.
The roles of logistics are to provide the right product in right quantity, at the right place, at right time, in right cost to the customer.
E-commerce sites have become more popular these days, due to which demand of data entry services has increased.
Customer service executive plays a critical role in providing an interface between the customers and the client's company. There are various career options available in this industry.
It is a platform for students, by students.
This is your dost Smart Sid.
I am Paras Narula.
My name is Varang.
You are watching Safe Job and I am your host Grace.
Be a part of the Safe Job family, because as we say, job hai to rob hai.